victory for Sean Strickland. Nobody called this one. Nobody. Everybody I spoke to, all the experts, everybody had Adesanya winning, including myself. What happened? We're all shaking our heads. Arguably the greatest upset in UFC championship history after Matt Serra versus George St. Pierre. Believe me, I still think about that fight quite a bit. When George St. Pierre lost to Matt Serra, it was an rude awakening for all of us, of course. Shocking. We all expected a win. We all had our heads spinning. And this fight is very similar to that. Very similar, just not as shocking. You know, for those of you who don't remember Matt Serra versus George St. Pierre, Matt Serra came out like a ball of fire, connected on George, knocked him out, TKO'd him, dropped him on the floor, picked him apart while George was dazed, and fought beautifully, finished beautifully. Matt Serra had a perfect performance and won and became world champion. Do you guys remember how Matt Serra got that title shot? They had an ultimate fighter. All the guys who got cut from UFC, all the guys who couldn't make it, they rounded them up, said, we'll give you guys one more chance. Come in here and win the ultimate fighter, then get a shot at the champ. Forget going through the top 15. You don't have to do that. Beat all these guys who got cut from UFC, and we'll give you the American dream, the underdog, the Rocky story. The guy who didn't go through the top 15, he didn't beat any top 5 guy, he gets a title shot. Why? He beat all these other guys who got cut. The drama was high. Nobody was thinking Matt Serra even had a chance to win, not a prayer. For those of you who don't remember, George had recently, at that time, dethroned Matt Hughes, the greatest welterweight champion ever in history at that point, without question. Matt Serra was coming off the Ultimate Fighter. Everybody underestimated him. And I remember in the pre-fight press conference, he was saying, I don't need anybody to believe in me. I believe in me. He kept saying that. I don't need anybody to believe in me. I believe in me. And when he went out there, I thought, he's going to get picked apart. He's going to get schooled. He's going to backpedal. He's going to think. He's going to double think. He's going to hesitate. Man, he's fighting George St. Pierre here. No. It was totally wrong. Matt Serra was engaging the center. He was on the hunt for the kill. He connected. Ended up finishing GSP in a brilliant fashion. Picking him apart from a distance. After George was wobbled, we were hoping George can grab onto him. George can kind of tie him up. No. Matt Serra was too smart. Kept a perfect distance. The perfect distance where he can connect with from the end of his punch. And he beat George. Now, of course, in the rematch, George wins. George goes on to be the greatest welterweight of all time. Arguably the GOAT, the greatest fighter of all time. Arguably the greatest fighter of all time. Of course, we're going to be debating that forever on this channel. And what's the second biggest upset in championship history in my mind right now? Is Sean Strickland versus Adesanya. Guys, not that Sean Strickland is not a great fighter. The man is a great fighter. He's a phenomenal fighter. However, Adesanya is a legendary final boss type character. The man has over 100 wins. The man not only was a brilliant glory competitor, brilliant kickboxer, but he came in and showed he can scramble, he can defend takedowns, he can scramble on the ground, he could reverse wrestlers. He showed he's a scrambling fool. His striking is incredible, but also trying to take him down was pulling teeth. Even Yoel Romero couldn't hold him down, barely can take him down. He showed so much skill and athleticism in grappling and wrestling. The guy was the perfect fighter. Okay, he had a drama with Pereira, another freak of nature. But I don't think any of us would describe Sean Strickland as a freak of nature. You know, he's a hardworking, talented, smart, intelligent fighter, but he put it on Adesanya. Adesanya is a freak athlete, and he's an incredible striker. And he put it on him in the striking. Not only that, he pressured Adesanya from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. Adesanya never got Sean Strickland backing up at all. Sean Strickland walked him down, outpointed him with a simple jab, a simple cross, and a simple front kick. That's it. Those were the three main tools of the entire night. He didn't need more. The first right hand that he truly connected at the end of round 1 set the tone for the entire fight. What a right hand. Adesanya throwing his famous left hook. that he's put out so many fighters with. He gets intercepted with a short right. That's boxing, guys. Beautiful boxing by Strickland. Beautiful. Get on the inside. Straight lines beat loopy punches. And bang. He drops Adesanya down. Adesanya never recovered. He never changed strategy. Now, in my opinion, Strickland lost round 2. He won round 1, obviously. He lost round 2, in my opinion. Then he won all the 3 rounds coming after that. Adesanya, after round 3, he had to call an audible. He didn't. He went back to doing the exact same thing. And that was perfect for Strickland. He just stayed on him. Jab, 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 front kick, jab, jab, across here and there. And he just out-pressured him, outworked him. A beautiful display of forward pressure by Sean Strickland. Now, I think Adesanya should have adapted, totally adapted. Adesanya didn't throw enough head kicks. If he threw a head kick, he would eventually, in my opinion, would have connected. Because of Sean Strickland's style of defense, you have to throw the head kick. If you don't throw the head kick, i.e., Poirier versus Gaethje. Head kick, baby. Head kick. The guy doesn't want to back up. The guy wants to get in your face. You got to create an angle for a head kick. If you don't create an angle for a head kick, he's going to pressure you all night long. Now, there's other things he could have done, but the fact that he didn't throw the head kick, in my opinion, was a disaster, and that's what led to him having to backpedal. There was no reason for Sean to back up. Guys, those are my initial thoughts on the fight. It was the second greatest heavyweight upset, championship upset. Second greatest ever. Now I have a personal bias. I think I'll never live down the first Matt Serra fight. I think I'm going to have nightmares about that fight forever, but that's just me. What do you guys think? What was the greatest championship upset in UFC history? Let me know in the comments in the comment section. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. But this is up there, guys. This is really up there. You know why? Because I was in Sydney, guys. I was there for the fight. Guys, thank you to SW Sydney Wrestling Academy. Thank you for having me. I gave 3 seminars there. They were all fantastic. I want to give a shout out to all the groups that had me, all the teams that had me. Thank you very much. You guys, no super chats, please. Not yet. And I had a blast in Sydney. Guys, I had such a blast in Australia. I wish I could go to Australia regularly. It's just so far away. I love Australia. I love the Australian people. I had such a blast. I actually have family in Australia I didn't know about that I got to visit. I had an incredible trip in Sydney. Guys, I was at the fight, but I had to leave before the Strickland fight because after you finish fighting, they take you back to your hotel and whatnot. And man, we got up so early. I got up at 4 a.m. for that day, for that event, because we fight really, really early in Sydney. And it's weird. You come out, it's daytime. It's, we finished. It was like 11 a.m. So I went to my hotel room, slept, woke up, saw that Strickland had won the world title. Guys, my mind is still blown. My mind is still blown. But my favorite part of the fight was how Adesanya and Strickland showed respect. I have to say, guys, I love how Adesanya took the loss. He went up to Sean, gave him a hug. I don't know what was being said, but he raised Sean Strickland's hand. He showed him deep respect. The man is a true champion. Adesanya is a true champion. I know he does a lot of cringy things, but he took that loss beautifully. And Sean Strickland, man, I listened to his post-press conference, how he's thanking his dad. He talked about, I didn't know this about him, he had a very abusive childhood. And he was basically telling us that thanks to his father abusing him all these years, not that I condone abuse at all, of course not, but he was thanking his dad. Is it dad? I know he was being partially sarcastic. Thanks for that, all that abuse. Thanks for it pushing. That's what made me champion. Now, I'll tell you guys something. As sad as it is to say, sometimes there's truth to that. Like, I'm obsessed with martial arts because I was bullied as a kid. George St. Pierre, completely obsessed with martial arts. Completely obsessed because he was bullied as a kid. And I'll tell you something. He's told me about his, childhood growing up. He was bullied worse than I was. And I can tell you, we're two guys who are obsessed with training every day. Train. And look, we're 40 and we still get bullied. We still have people every so often bully us. I'm telling you, it just never ends. Now, to us, it's funny now, of course. We look back when we were kids, not that big of a deal. But it does show me, man. The guy got knocked out by Pereira. Then he went to train with Pereira. You know, it tells me how much that has to burn inside. You gotta spar with a guy who cleaned your clock, who knocked you out. It's a tough pill to swallow. But he did what he had to do. He went, trained with his competitor. Now that he moved weight class, it's not really his competitor no more, so it makes sense that they train together. He went and trained with the best guy who can give him the best looks to fight Adesanya. And he got the job done, man. He became world champion. This is massive for Sean Strickland. Massive. I am extremely happy for him. A Cinderella story. I can't wait to see how it plays out. Do they have the rematch? Does Adesanya rally? Is there a part 3? I can't wait to see. Guys, this is a fight. If there's a rematch, I will definitely tune in. The middleweight division just got ultra exciting. Izzy's getting older. Nothing wrong with that. Toga. I don't blame it on age. Honestly, I don't think so. I really don't think it was age. The guy was quick. He was feinting. It's just that Sean wasn't biting on the fakes. Watch the first round. Adesanya's faking. Sean is not moving. He's not reacting to the fakes. I think that's the first time somebody just doesn't react to Adesanya's fakes. I feel like he entered the Matrix once in a lifetime feeling, I bet. Jennifer, you're probably very right. That was... Look, even Sean at the end, he was like, I won. He was so in disbelief. I don't think he thought he would win that easily. If he believed he was going to win, it was going to be some kind of crazy circumstance. It wasn't. It was methodical. It was a methodical... If there was 7 or 8 more rounds, I don't think anything would have changed. Sean would have ran him down. It seemed like Adesanya wasn't able to make adjustments. The adjustments he was making were the same as he did in round 1 and 2. And they weren't great enough of... It wasn't great enough of a difference to change the outcome of the fight. I would have called an audible after round 3. You have to call an audible. Guys, I want to congratulate Nasrat Haksparat. He won in Sydney. I was with him. After round 1, he got his leg kick. We called an audible. Right away, called an audible. Switched the entire game plan. This is not going to work. You're on your way to a loss because he got kicked really badly in the leg. And I didn't think he could take him any more kicks. We changed game plan. We changed position. And it worked. And then he started pressing in the fight and winning. He won the last 2 rounds very comfortably, very, very comfortably. Hurt his opponent in round 2, hurt his opponent in round 3, won the following 2 rounds. Even though he won round 1, it was very close. Round 1 was very close, but the damage had been done. Okay, the judges gave round 1 to Nasrat. I thought he had lost round 1, but it was very close. It could have been either way round 1. Round 1 was really tight, but I thought the damage was done to the leg, that this kind of damage can end the fight. You lose your spring in your punches. You lose your ability to shoot, to sprawl. You lose your ability to throw kicks. It's very, very damaging. Call an audible. He needed to call an audible. He didn't overextend on Izzy. Couldn't counter. That's from Toga. You're saying Izzy couldn't counter. True. Sean's punching was pristine, crisp, clean, beautiful, methodical, perfect. However, Izzy wasn't throwing the right shots. Izzy's shot selection he was repeating the same shot selection. It didn't go well. Guys, check out jujiclub.com, promo code 50, summer 50 off. Summer 50 off, and get 50% off anything on Juji Club. What else we got here? Sean's cardio is crazy. That's from Swish. Absolutely. Absolutely crazy. But Adesanya also, for him, fatigue was not a factor. I don't think fatigue was a factor at all for either man. But I'm impressed with Sean's conditioning. Definitely. Sean admitted Izzy never showed up. That's from Charles Biddle. He couldn't get anything going. It's not that he didn't show up. I just think he couldn't get anything going. Ronda because of all the hype. That's from Venice. Oh, are you saying Holly Holm? You're right. Guys, this is not the greatest. The second greatest upset in UFC history. You're right. How could I forget? Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey is the second greatest upset in UFC title history. I'll never forget this fight. I'll never forget this fight. I thought it was a wash. I thought Ronda was going to get her down and it was going to be bye-bye. I watched the fight. I was almost even not going to watch the fight. I don't remember where I was. I had like a family dinner. It was in Australia, of course. So I was like, should I watch it? I just know it's just going to be a Ronda take. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll watch it. I was like, you know what? Let me tune in. I want to tune in. I don't know why. sometimes I have family things and I watch the fight on Sunday. Quite often, guys, I watch the fight the next day. I try to avoid spoilers and I watch it the next day. Now, Ronda Rousey, I did a breakdown on this video. They got 1 million views in the first 24 hours, and then YouTube cut it because I used some of the fight footage. Ronda had a few very, very close armbar attempts in that fight. Like, it was, we all know how good she is on armbar. And Holly Holm is like a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. World champion boxer, world champion kickboxer, but on the ground, Ronda has way more experience. She was this close from getting an armbar. Holly Holm gets out. All of a sudden, it's the striking show. It's the kick to the head. What a fight. I'll never forget this fight. This fight was incredible. Second greatest upset, I think, in UFC history. TJ Dillashaw versus Barral. That's from Fox's Fitness. That's one of the great performances, but I wouldn't call it an upset. That was after USADA. We saw that Barral, doesn't look the same, and TJ Dillashaw looks even better than ever. I'm not going to talk more than that. But it wasn't the greatest upset. I wouldn't say it's the greatest upset. No.